instance, we listed bearded dragon, which may have a clutch of between 3 and 5 clutches per year. The clutch size varies between 15 and 35 eggs. So if we had 3 clutches per year of 20 eggs, 8 females could produce 480 offspring. That's assuming all of those eggs would hatch, which may not be the case, but it might have a high percentage. If you had 24 females at that 3 clutches per year of 20 eggs, you could produce 1,440 offspring. Leopard geckos may have 8 to 10 clutches per year. That's assuming a clutch every 15 days across 4 months. The clutch size is usually around 2 eggs. 8 females would produce 128 offspring. 24 females could produce 384 offspring. So in terms of PACFA oversight, it is very easy to get to the point where you do have some volume. The threshold of 24 for production, housing, or transfers acknowledges that a certain subset of reptile and amphibian pet-keeping community may own more pets than other animal groups, while at the same time incorporating PACFA oversight of larger breeding operations that deposit animals into our
I have a copy of that.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Next is Tiffany Esty.
Oh, I don't have any comments, thank you.
Okay. And Rhonda Broker.
Everyone is really clear to the record that we will expand into law. I have concerns about some of the definitions. One being facility. That needs to be a little bit more clear, especially when we have categorizing major contractors as a facility. They're not working when somebody means working inside of the building. That also has to be under the licensing. Very vague. If you're asking an individual to profess themselves as a building, and we're not. The building that we're working in as an independent contractor is the building. And you're requiring that each one of us independent contractors has to have a license as a building. I'd like to see some clarity on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bobby Bauer.
My name is Bobby Bauer, and I represent the growers in our growing. Pretty much what Rhonda said, a lot of growers are expressing concern over independent contractors having to have a facility license when they do work in a group and under a facility license. So they feel that that is more licensing on an individual basis and not the facility as it's written in the statutes. I did also want to point out, while we're doing the addition of muzzles is spelled incorrectly.
How much page?
So it's page 37.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, there's just a lot of feedback about clarification for mobile groomers and independent contractors. They feel like they're being licensed individually instead of, per one other point on that, and I'm trying to remember. The mobile groomers, are currently being required to license at their home address, but, some use storage facilities for their mobile trailers, and if they move that trailer, then they're required to get a new license. So basically, we just want, clarification, if there's any documentation on that, or, just a way to explain it to them. I was looking for the. I do apologize. I believe I've covered what I'm trying to look for. I just was trying to look for the beginning of it, and then it's just gonna be a waste of time. I need to flip pages, so thank you.
Thank you. Ravage?
My name is Jeff Ravage. I am the Northern Watershed Coordinator for the Coalition for the Upper South Platte. I'm here speaking as an individual, as a hobbyist who could be caught up into interpretation as a breeder under these new rules. I'm here speaking about the Herptile, reptile, and amphibian breeding rules, which are new to this version. And first I would say I think it is an excellent idea to include this as a category within it. But I just wanted to speak for a minute about the changes as they are written. The way it's written is as setting out 8 females possessed, transferred, or bred is different than any other category listing or any other type of animal. Normally, you would need a male in there somewhere, although there are certain frogs that do breed through parthenogenesis. But I agree with what was said earlier about a larger, higher threshold of 24, because what will happen is you will end up capturing people who are hobbyists. There's a wide variety of different types of animals included under reptiles and amphibians. I personally keep poison dart frogs. If you keep poison dart frogs at pristine health and in excellent conditions, they will breed. They have small clutches. We're not really involved in making any profit off of them, but the way this rule is written, it could cause a hobbyist to be defined as a breeder, which creates actually a larger burden for your department if you have to go after people who are hobbyists, who have not registered because they're not aware of this. Now, if we look at the small mammals like rat, mouse, and gerbil, which would be larger than a small group of 8 frogs, the rat, mouse, and gerbils having a threshold of 200 could require a rack that would cover a large part of that wall. Whereas with frogs, it could be 1 20-gallon aquarium. So it's not really on the same scale. Having 8 mature females with a permit fee of $225, if we go to the lowest threshold of 8, means that you would be paying $28 a year just to maintain animals in your possession, whether you're actually breeding or not. The threshold for a mouse would be $1.75 per animal at the lowest threshold. I don't think that your intent is actually to include people who are hobbyists into this, but I would think that you need to do some real research and work with the people in the professional organizations that are breeding these animals to come up with some good guidelines on what the threshold limits should be. And reptile and amphibian, while it works really well on paper, we all understand what reptiles and amphibians are, there's such a broad variety of species encompassed by that definition that it might behoove you to have some more clarification and specification for different types of animals. So that was my 2 cents.
Thank you. Cheryl Saint?
Hi, I'm Dr. Cheryl Stake, and I'm with Colorado Citizens for Canine Welfare. We also call ourselves 3CW. I'm here speaking on behalf of the animals that PACFA protects but have no voice. And I just want to let you know a little bit about 3CW. We're a nonprofit organization working to improve the welfare of animals in our state. In addition to speaking for the voiceless pet animals that depend on our care, I'm also speaking for the hundreds of 3CW volunteers and supporters and over 9,000 followers on Facebook. I'm speaking in favor of 2 rule changes, one in Section 9 and one in Section 4. So first, we support the rule changing the number of failed inspections from 4 to 3 that is required to deny, revoke, or suspend a PACFA license, and that the failure can be for any direct violation and does not need to be the same violation. After reviewing the inspection reports and the re-inspection reports for several PACFA licensed facilities, it became apparent that facilities continue to have direct violations that endanger the health and welfare of the animals. For example, and I'm not going to use I'm just going to give abbreviation. DS failed a small animal breeder, failed an inspection in March of 2014 for numerous quote-unquote, direct violations affecting animal welfare, to quote the inspector's own words. Such infractions as, some of this is graphic, but this is what the animals are living under. Quote-unquote, odor of permeated urine in the dog enclosures and fecal matter not picked up daily where dogs roam freely. Quote. Also, unquote, accumulation of trash in enclosures, entrances to metal shelters have sharp edges, frozen water in bowls, and etc. Another facility, HB, inspected in October of 2013, failed for, quote-unquote, unacceptable number of flies in the whelping area, end quote. On reinspection, a few months later, in February 2014, quote-unquote, the odor of ammonia or urine in the whelping room is strong enough to be detrimental to the health of the dogs. The flooring may be saturated with urine.
You're about halfway through it.
Okay, I'm almost done. Okay. Again, quoting the inspector. The direct violations endanger the pet animal's health and well-being. Facilities are given 20 days to submit a plan on how they are going to come into compliance, and then they are given time to implement their plan. 3 failures gives them more than enough time to improve their premises. Also, there are not enough inspectors to go back to the same facility over and over. I'm also speaking in favor of adding the pet transport category to the PACFA rules. Thousands of pets are transported into Colorado every year. As Nick recently just said, that thinks over 30,000 dogs and puppies are been brought into the state, or will be brought into the state. By creating this category, the transport industry will have minimum standards to protect the health and well-being of the animals in their care. Some of the puppies that are entering our state are as young as 1 to 4 weeks old, and their immune systems are not strong enough to ward off illnesses, so it's important to have some minimum standards. Also, there will be a better way to track the number of dogs entering Colorado, where they are coming from and where they are going. This may be helpful if the source of a contagious disease such as heartworm needs to be identified. Thank you. I have some of these records that I referred to. Would the commissioner like to have
If you'd like to submit those, I will. Yeah.
Do you want my little thing I read?
If you would like to, that's great.
Whatever makes it easier.
Thank you so much.
seems rather low, especially in the reptile hobby. I believe their proposed recommendation of 24 might also be a little low. I know one of my fellow hobbyists has been in meetings previously with one of your representatives, and the proposed numbers that they came up with, at least to my understanding, was 400 snakes sold, 200 turtles, 900 amphibians, or 600 lizards. I feel that largely those numbers would be sufficient. However, 200 turtles and 400 snakes may be on the low side, as a single adult turtle can lay rather large clutches. You quickly reach that threshold. Same goes for snakes, which is my area of quote-unquote expertise. The species that I deal with can lay clutches as large as 70, if not over that. So you can see how quickly 400 could be reached. I would propose closer to 600 for snakes and 400 for turtles. Also, as Jeff mentioned earlier, it is an excellent, I do agree, it is an excellent idea to include herptile enthusiasts and hobbyists and businesses in the rulemaking process, as well as in the legislation. As you pointed out, or as you guys pointed out as well, it's long been overlooked, and I personally appreciate you guys bringing us in at this point and listening to our concerns. You also mentioned that there's a risk of capturing hobbyists, which is absolutely where I would consider myself to fall under. And I myself predominantly do educational outreach programs. I go to churches, schools, scout events, and talk about not only the reptiles that I have, but I also use the animals that I have to demonstrate proper ways of approaching them out in the wild. 8 adult females definitely puts me over the threshold for a retail business. I do breed on the side, but it's not a profit generating endeavor for myself. It simply supports the upkeep of my animals, pay for their food and their housing and the electricity bill and such. I also agree on the point that we definitely need some clarification and differentiation between the different animals, as I laid out to you earlier, that I know I spoke with some of my fellow keepers about. Like I said, differentiating between snakes, turtles, amphibians, lizards would definitely be an excellent idea, I feel, and I would greatly appreciate your consideration on this matter. Thank you.
Judy Calhoun.
Good morning. I'm Judy Calhoun. I'm here actually representing the Colorado Federation of Animal Welfare Agencies. And I just want to say that we are excited and supportive of the addition of both the transport category and the reptile breeder category. So we want to thank the department